All we're doing is warning you and telling you that these things are coming and to get yourself together. Otherwise, the Lord's going to take you out. It says, who pluck off their skin from off them and their flesh from off their bones. So here it is, the Spirit has us out there putting the flesh on these people, which is really the Lord using us to put the flesh on them when we put up the 12 tribe sign, and to identify, okay, Asher, the so-called Colombians, the Brazilians, Naphtali as, the Argentinians, the Chileans, and the tribe of Ephraim is the so-called Puerto Ricans, the tribe of Judah is the so-called Negroes. And here it is, you got these other clowns coming behind and messing that up and ripping the skin off of you. Saying, no, those are not the tribes. The tribes are only black, or the tribes are only this, or the tribes are only that, or the tribes are only white people, and different things like that. Then you have clowns that know that they're Israelites, and they're really not teaching you the full truth. So you plucking off the skin from Israel like that too. It says, who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off them. And they break their bones and chop them in pieces as for the pot and as flesh within the cauldron. And that's why I said that when we read in Isaiah 65, that you prepare a table for that troop. Because it's like you taking Israel, you chopping them up like you making a big stew in a pot. And you preparing them for mass slaughter. It says, then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. Why is it? Because the Lord said, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Why is it that when you cry unto the Lord, he's not going to hear you? Because right now, the Lord is reaching out his hand unto you, and you're not listening. You're pushing the hand of the Lord away. So the Lord said, when your calamity comes upon you, I'm going to laugh at you. Right now, you're laughing at us because we're telling you that these things are coming through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and you're ridiculing us. But then when that day comes and you start seeing that these things are happening and you get caught up in these things and you start crying unto the Lord is going to start laughing at you. And he's going to use us to laugh at you. It says he will hide his face from them all at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. And what you're doing is ill, man. Beginning with you leaders out there. And among you Kemites too. You're gonna see, man, that whole shit. You're not. There ain't nothing gonna come out of that, man. Ain't nothing came out of that. Egypt never rose back up into power. Egypt has just been.
Even the original Egyptians are not trying to go back to Egypt, and they don't even know who they are. Hey, you dumbass Negroes, you Israelites, are praising Egypt. And talking about your line goes back to Egypt. You're not Egyptians, all right? You're Israelites.
And we don't give a damn how much you don't like it. We're going to tell you because that's the truth. And it's our job to tell you, whether you listen or whether you don't listen. It says, thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry peace, and he that putteth not into their mouth, they even prepare war against him. Therefore night shall be unto you, that you shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that you shall not divine. And the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them.
Yeah, the sun shall go down. You talking about the sun is Ra. That sun is going down on you.
Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall cover their lips, for there is no answer of the Most High. But truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord, and of judgment and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression, and to Israel his sin. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. And that's what you guys are doing, man, especially among you guys that know that you're Israelites and that are leaders. You pervert all judgment, you abhor judgment, and you pervert all equity. Anything that's for the benefit of Israel, you pervert it. It says,
I looked up that word, equity. It says yashar, and it says straight, upright, correct. So in this truth, you have to be straight, upright, and correct. You can't deviate to the left or the right. You have to be straight.
That's right.
It says straight, level, right, pleasing, correct, straightforward, just, upright, fitting, proper. So the teaching has to be straightforward, It has to be upright. It has to be fitting, and it has to be proper.
That's right. That when you guys teach that the mark of the beast is not the microchip, that's perverting equity, because that is upright. That is the truth.
Yeah, that's not straightforward. Like when you say it's the mark of the beast is a philosophy. That's vague, man. That's not straightforward. Now, however, the chip, in pursuant to Revelation, 16 and 13, is straightforward. Because when you look up the word mark, the Greek word there is charagma, which means something inserted. All right? Something that's actually inserted underneath the skin. That ain't no philosophy. That's that chip, man. That's straightforward. So that's equity.
Right. It says, they build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest. And you know, a lot of you people out there that's into this Egyptology and Kemetism, or whatever you call it, or whatever ism you call it, a lot of you going to be put to death, man. You know?
Right.
That part where it says Jerusalem shall become heaps, that's heaps of dead bodies, man.
Yeah, all of them, not a lot of them, all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Heaps of dead bodies, piles of dead bodies. You know, and we're telling you, man, there's going to be a mass death out here. There's going to be a lot of death. And that's the time of Jacob's trouble.
Yep. And like Elder Tara said a few weeks ago, when you guys came down and did what you did, you basically opened this truth up on another highway. You know, because you have a lot of them people out there that know of Israel, but they really didn't really get too deep involved in it. But now that the spotlight is on it, now there's more edification coming out in that group of people that believe in that. So now you're held responsible for what you hear. Like Yahweh Shai said, look, if I never came to them, they would have no cloak for their sins. Now you have no cloak for your sins, because you know whether you accept it. It doesn't matter if you accept it or not. You're still going to get the judgment, you know. So either you listen and come out of that, or you're going to stay in that and die, basically. You know, and you could keep rooting for Sarah Sutin City and Brother Polite and this guy and Sal Netta and Sal Netta battles against Islam and Brother so-and-so battle. That's all bullshit, man. At the end of the day, that's just a money-making racket that they got going on, so they can keep their pockets lined up and them dumb hoes following behind them. You know, at the end of the day, all that's going to come to nothing.
Yeah, and all of you that go to those debates, you're going to die too. That's right. The ones that you're taking this opinion and that opinion. There's only one truth out there, man. And y'all don't have it. Anyway, get me Isaiah 28 and start from 14.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 14. It says, wherefore hear the word of the Lord, you scornful men, that rule this people which is in Jerusalem. Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
Now, the reason why I wanted the elder to read that, because I'm going to show you this tape recording of the Jim Jones tragedy, the People's Temple. And there's a tape, and I think it's called, in plain, Jim Jones death tape. And basically, what you're going to hear basically a bunch of black women, because the majority of the people that died over there in the People's Temple down there in Guyana were black women. Because a lot of black men had went down there and they had left, split up from their wives and went back to the States, man. But them black women, they stayed right with that man, Jim Jones, which he was nothing but a CIA operative, man. And that was nothing but a big experiment to see how you can deceive people and brainwash people and ultimately cause them to agree to commit suicide. And you're going to hear it in the tape. Now, there's one woman, because correct me if I got the name right. Is it Christine Miller?
Yeah, that's him.
Right, Christine Miller, older black woman, middle-aged black woman. She kind of said she ain't with this. So she's trying to convince Jim Jones that they can take a plane to Russia. Then Jim Jones says, nah, it's too late and we ain't gonna have time to do it, and we got to make a statement to the world by committing suicide. And then you had the black woman in the background agreeing with Jim Jones.